Now, moving on next children, video number 7. She continued to beg and plead every following day, pointing out that with the entail over their heads and 5 girls to be married off, Mr. Bennet could not afford to neglect to call on any eligible bachelor. You must think of our daughters, Mr. Bennet, she repeated over and over again. Her husband only laughed and said that nothing would make him call on Mr. Bingley, that if Mr. Bingley wished to marry one of their daughters, he would have to do so without his help. You visit him, my dear, he said. It will be best if you go and see him and tell him all about your girls. You are heartless and cruel, Mrs. Bennet sobbed. In spite of all that he said, however, Mr. Bennet was among the first in the neighborhood to call on Bingley. But his wife knew nothing of this till the evening after the visit, when she was discussing a forthcoming ball with her daughters. Now moving on to the word meanings. Plead means to make an emotional appeal. Forthcoming means about to happen. Explanation part. Mrs. Bennet continuously pleaded to her husband to call Mr. Bingley to their house, so that he could marry any of their daughters. Mr. Bingley replied to her that if she wished Mr. Bingley to marry any of their daughters, then she should herself visit him and tell him about her daughters. Mr. Bennet was the first in the neighborhood who invited Mr. Bingley. Mrs. Bennet, unaware of this, knew nothing till the evening after the visit, when she discussed upcoming ball with her daughters. Now children, answer the following questions. Question number 1. Who said this and to whom? You must think of our daughters. Question number 2. Who was the first in the neighborhood to call on Mr. Bingley?